All right. Hello. It's Joe here, and I'm here to share a story which is also a bit of a cautionary tale for those that are getting involved in raising their energy and finding their spiritual path and purpose, and for achieving your dreams. And a lot of that comes down to the company you keep and who you choose to help you achieve those dreams. And so I'm going to go right into the story and then explain why this is useful for you guys to know and what to look out for, especially in the coming months and years, because it's an important time for it. And so my story starts a few days ago. I think it was last Friday. And I was at a bar, but not there to just socialize or do anything normal people do at a bar. I was there to work and to be inspired and to do creative work. And I know why a bar, but I like the aesthetic. I like the music there. I like a little something to sip on as I'm doodling. If you're curious what I was working on, just some schematics. And I mean, who doesn't have a bunch of alien tech schematics being doodled in a bar, right? And so I was there trying to figure out a way to boost the power of a certain device, and I won't go a ton into it, but if you want to see it, I got it here. This little guy. So it's a little cannon. I call it the arm cannon, even though it doesn't really shoot anything. But it wraps around your arm. You can wear it, so you can kind of put your arm in there and just walk around and feel some crazy vibes and do some crazy stuff. And so I was thinking of ways to boost its power, and sitting there at the bar doodling, and I look to my right and I see someone coming into the room, and it's a woman. But this woman has some of the most toxic looking eyes that I have seen in quite some time. And for those kind of new to all of this, what does it mean to have toxic looking eyes? Because she didn't look angry. She didn't look moody. She didn't have like these little narrowed, angry slits. It wasn't anything like that. But as you follow this path and as you raise your energy and as you make it more strongly oriented towards the positive, you will better be able to tell and even see manifestations of negative energy in people. These are people that are either aligned with negative organizations or agencies, etc. Or it could even be something like a cult, or it could be something like a magical trade or a sect or a club. But it's so intense in its effect on the body that they just start radiating it. It's just what they become. In any case, that's for another conversation. But she had it going on strong. And if you're curious what these eyes look like, because you might have even noticed these in your past, but you're not really aware of what it means, usually highly negative eyes are eyes that are devoid of humanity. They kind of have a glossy, glazed over look, very shiny, almost like doll eyes or mannequin eyes. And that's all fine and good and whatever, but mostly the effect is the energy that radiates from their eyes, because the eyes are the window to the soul, are they not? And so, however you feel by looking someone in the eyes, you can tell a lot about them, especially if you have a strong energy yourself. You kind of bounce it off things around you and you kind of get a picture back or a feeling of what is going on with them energetically. In any case, I could tell she was bad news, but I didn't, give her like a sour look or kind of like, oh, I'm going to ignore you because you're bad news. But I kind of met her and I gave her a look of like, oh, hi, you know, because I was feeling a little, I wanted to see what would happen. And I wondered if, I don't know, it was like zoology. You just kind of want to see what happens sometimes and see what her game is, because she had some stuff going on, and I was curious. And lo and behold, it seemed to have worked, because 2 seconds later, after she had passed by me, she came back around and then sat across the corner of the bar from me. And so I was kind of near the corner, and she's also near the corner, and we're pretty close. And so I think, oh, this is great. I have a chance to do some infield research and recon and just kind of see what it's like to be next to a socialite like this, or whatever. And just to fill you in, this bar is in a very rich area of this region. So Bellevue is what it's called. and I was in downtown Bellevue, so it's just super ritzy area. And she kind of had a feeling and a poise of, look at me, I'm successful. And so I was like, okay, well, let's see what your sociology is. Let's see what your psychology is. Let's see what your ploy is, or your game is. And so I did some small talk and just kind of little bits here and there. And it's like, okay, is the sun in your eyes? Because, it's at that angle. We brought, like a cap or something, whatever. I mentioned something good in the menu, and then I got back to my work. And then she's looking at my work and is going, oh, so what are you so busy on over there? And at this point, I don't know, like, did she like know I'd be here and wanted to come meet me here because she knew what I'd be doing? Or is this totally a coincidence, which is also totally possible? And for those, again, that are new to this, I do attract attention from various sorts who know who I am and what I'm doing. And I know that sounds conspiratorial, but I've been at this for more than a decade. I just attract these types. It's just what happens. So I'm used to it. In any case, I decided to have a little fun. And I could just say something and kind of brush it under the rug, but I tell her a little bit of the truth because I'm curious what she'll do. And I say I'm working with metamaterials and I'm finding ways to boost their power and efficacy. And they help with regeneration and healing. I made a device that I put on my brother's leg when he broke it in a car crash last year, and it helped to speed up his healing dramatically, and just trying to make it more functional, more travel friendly, and efficient. And then eventually I show her this piece, and this is my latest ether that I've been working on. And I describe a few of the layers, not of course anything about how they're made or the real secret behind it, but I tell her enough, and then I say enough of it back, and I say, well, this is kind of a trade secret, and this, I can't really go into. And then eventually she says, it's a shame that, so much of this, is either a trade secret or you can't tell me because I like to invest in this kind of thing. And you kind of just like leaned into that. And it was such a blatant and perfect and pristine example of NOB, or negatively oriented being, for those new, approach to manipulation, because they assume all the humans, all the normal people, they're all for the money. They need the money. We got inflation going on. We got layoffs going on, rising rent, etc. They need the cash, and they'll do whatever it takes to get it. And I know that, and I got the power. And hey, I'll give some power your way if you bend over backwards and, become my property. And in any case, I just love a good example of things I already know to be true. And I just said, hey, well, thank you, but we're all good on that front. Yeah, but you have a good night. And then I went back to my work. And I could tell she was super like, what? Who doesn't want money? Who doesn't want to be funded, Any researcher should be begging for that, especially if someone just walks up to you and says, hey, I got money, and I like this stuff. I'll give you money for this stuff, and it was just great. It was a great experience, and it's great to feel that you have worth and power, even if someone who knows they have something you want and they think they have something over you, and you show them that it just is meaningless, and truly it is. It's an imaginary currency, but we're still stuck in a world that requires it for food and shelter. So in any case, why am I telling you this story? It's actually for a very important reason, because people like us, people that are bright, people that have a strong positive energy, and people especially that are onto something that could change the world or really help people or really throw a wrench into the old world structuring of power. They have a vested interest to infiltrate and manipulate such movements. Pretty much any movement you see out there for any cause you can think of is led by, you could say, an NOB faction, or by an agency, or by various moving parts working in unison to create a narrative. And so if you are a person who is either inventing something amazing, or maybe you're a really great artist, or a great musician, or a great speaker, or a healer, or anyone that has a powerful soul or a strong energy, or something that makes them think, we need to get our thumb on this and either control it or stamp it out. or infiltrate it and just and distract it and dilute it and sway it off to a different path, whatever. Because that's how they keep control of narratives, is to make sure that all loose ends and all things that threaten to destabilize it are taken care of. And so you might someday find yourself in a situation, you probably already have numerous times. If you're a bright person and if you're brought to these videos and this technology, you probably are, and your intuition is leading you correctly. So if you are a person like this, you will find that negative individuals are drawn to you because they either want to bring you down or they want to get in close and pretend to be your buddy, but when you really need them or when you want like an actual person to talk to, they're kind of flimsy and not really there. So you can feel like you have friends, but they're not really your friends. And so you start to feel, really lonely even though you have friends. You start to feel like, what's the point, etc. And so my advice for you is your dreams and your missions and whatever that is, your spiritual purpose can only go as far as the company you choose to keep. And I truly mean that, and think about it. Because that means that if you have a best friend and you tell them, hey, it's my dream to help people and to do it this way and to work with this. And if that person's like, I don't think it's going to work. No, someone tried that and it didn't work. You should do this instead. Or, hey, try this out. It makes a lot of money. I can get you in and, just make that money and do that. Or whatever. That's one way it could happen. Or you'll have people that say, hey, that's a great idea. Let's go do it. And they might be your business partners, and they might be your funders or whatever. And you work together and all of a sudden you fell into some legal trouble or something, or one of them did something that got you in hot water as well. And all of a sudden your dream is kaput, or you get in trouble or go to jail or whatnot. And it's because of the people you chose to share that dream with. Okay? And the thing is, we often think, oh, it was an accident. They messed up, but they apologized. They said they're doing their best, but it just kind of happened. But the thing is, and what I'm realizing a lot more in my later years in wisdom that I've painstakingly gained, is that a lot of these people are fully aware of what they're doing, and they are there to sabotage you. And I know we want to think that everyone's our friends all the time, but the thing is, it's just not the case. Especially if you're someone that has a certain brilliance or a certain path in life or a certain type of soul or whatever. You will have people that come in to try and infiltrate your dream and infiltrate what you're trying to create. And so what is my advice for all of this? My advice is to follow the techniques that I'm teaching, or follow your own techniques if you want, but it all comes down to being able to feel and perceive negative energy in people, and to be able to feel their negative attachments or affiliations, or if they represent an agency or an organization or a club or a sect or a cult or whatever, a society of some kind. Once you can feel that in people, if they approach you and they're like, hey man, I'm your friend, I'm your best friend, tell me all your secrets, man, that's what friends do. If you can feel a negative energy to them, don't do it. Or feed them maybe two truths and a lie, or do whatever. If you can feel a palpable negative energy to them, they are not there to be your friend. And maybe some of them are, but I say side on the side of caution. And don't trust your dream to people that their heart doesn't resonate with yours. And if you feel a tinge of a sour energy or a lack of humanity or anything that makes you anxious or feel distant or like blocked, but you can't really reach them, even if they're really charming and they're really funny and they're really quick with the quips and they give you lots of gifts and treats or do you lots of favors, if you feel that bad energy there, don't trust it. This is your dream. It's your wish. It's your purpose. And you have to have only the highest quality people that you can fully trust and lean on to share that dream with. And that's how I operate, and that's why I can keep doing what I'm doing. And it'd be nice to be bigger and to have some money behind it, but most people that have money these days, especially after COVID and all that, they have it because they're wanted to have it. And the genuine people that are actually here to do some good, they have had money taken away from them, or maybe they're laid off, or maybe their rents are increased or whatnot. So they can't actually do what they're here to do, which is to change the world. And so I guess that's my lesson. Do your best to be able to feel and read energy in people. And once you can do it with people around you, you can do it by looking at a picture of a person and you can feel their energy through the picture because it does link to them and it is like their signature. It's their signature vibration. And once you can do a pictures, you can do it through emails. You can read an email from a person and feel, is this person attached to good stuff or is this a bad idea? And you can navigate yourself this way. And imagine trying to create a business or an enterprise or a movement that you need to be uncorrupt, free of corruption, one that will succeed and has to succeed. You have to choose the right people. And to do that, ether is a tool because it is made to decloak negative energies and to process them. And if you ever feel a contrast or a conflict of energy between yourself and your positive energy and your positive tool, if you want to really supercharge it and know for sure, and those people, cut ties, all right? Do not hand your dream off to them just because they give you a silver platter. It's like, I won't drop it, I promise. Come on, we got money, you know? And so that's my advice, especially in this day and age when all the free money is being siphoned away into very particular people and very particular enterprises. And it's going to be dished out like little crumbs to the hungry mice that now are getting desperate. Do not fall for it, especially now, because it's going to become more and more common. And you might fall for it and don't. And that's all I can say. And if you are a person watching this now and maybe you're on the cusp of a business deal or something really big that's going to carry your dream and make whatever you want to happen a reality, but you're a little doubtful about your partners or about your investments or whatnot, talk to me. I'm happy to help you out. I have no vested interest in telling you, oh, all your friends and all your business folks are corrupt and you should stop and give up. You know, I'm not here to do that. I want you to succeed. If you are a genuine, positive human and you feel inspired to create something, that is your divine intuition saying, hey, you there in this physical vessel on this planet, it's your time to do something. And I say follow your heart and trust it. But you also have to have people you can trust to help you get there. And that is the main challenge on this planet, is finding quality people that you can depend on. And so if you want to learn these skills and you're not already a Bastion member, join us, join Bastion. It's, you know, it's easy to get in and you can learn this stuff. Otherwise, if you're not going to go through all that effort, all I can say is trust your heart. And if your heart doesn't feel right next to some people and you're going to end up depending on them or working closely with them, figure it out, okay? And if you got to cut ties with them and go with someone else or even be on your own and do it alone, do that. But do not be corrupted by the wrong people because it happens all the time, everywhere, okay? That's my story, and I hope it was helpful to you guys. Think it over, and I hope it serves you well.